A storm-drenched evening. A deserted highway beyond the city limits. A driver in his work truck brakes hard when emergency beacons pierce through the downpour ahead. He exits the vehicle and goes rigid. A woman in uniform sprawls unmoving next to her wrecked cruiser, crimson pooling beneath her. Her voice comes out broken. Help's not coming. Without hesitation, he strips his coat off, slices through her restraints with a blade, and applies brutal compression to the injury as consciousness starts slipping from her. His tone stays level. Keep your eyes open. I've handled worse cases. You're making it through this. 60 minutes pass. Inside the medical center, the precinct commander examines her expertly sutured trauma, fingers shaking. Who performed this? This is combat-level precision. Jack Rowan, 40 years in age, raising a child alone. His alarm goes off at 5:30 each dawn in a modest home at the town's periphery. The sort of neighborhood where people acknowledge each other, but respect boundaries. In his kitchen, he prepares a midday meal for his daughter Ella. She's 10, perceptive eyes constantly questioning the marks covering his palms. The real explanation never comes. The reality is layered. Jack Rowan carried a different identity once. A battlefield physician in elite military units. The type they deployed when operations went catastrophic in regions erased from official records. He preserved lives amid gunfire, repaired injuries in complete darkness, sustained breathing in men already touched by mortality, but circumstances shifted. Before the blast that ended his wife Sarah's life, during what should have been a standard patrol 5 years prior. Before he discovered the narcotics syndicate controlling their region was identical to the one he'd confronted in foreign territory. Before he abandoned everything. Currently, he operates commercial transport vehicles, delivers inventory to isolated shops, exists without drawing attention, parents Ella by himself. Around his wrist sits a dark rubber band, worn lettering etched into its surface. Never leave a fallen. The clock shows 11 when Jack completes his final delivery circuit. Precipitation hammers his windshield. The forest passage lies empty, lightless. Most drivers bypass this path after dark. Jack welcomes the quiet. Then he registers it. Emergency strobes, scarlet and sapphire, barely cutting through the deluge. A patrol vehicle overturned, vapor climbing from its crushed hood. Jack decelerates. Every survival sense screams to dial emergency services and continue forward. Stay uninvolved. That chapter is finished. But he stops. He always does. Jack retrieves a beam and steps into the downpour. The destruction intensifies up close. The vehicle rolled at minimum twice. Shattered glass carpets everything. The operator's door is mangled. Inside, collapsed against the controls, sits a young woman. Police attire. Badge catches his light. Officer Sarah Miles. 29 years old. 18 months on duty. Tonight she pursued intelligence on the syndicate. Solo. Critical error. Her eyelids part. Blood trails down her features. Her protective vest is torn, a severe gash across her midsection. She attempts speech, is barely audible. Called for backup 20 minutes ago. Jack checks vitals. Faint, respiration compromised. She's hemorrhaging rapidly. He pulls his phone. No reception. The trees obstruct transmission. Sarah grips his forearm. Her strength surprises him. If you leave, they'll hunt you as well. They're observing. Jack studies her. Truly observes her. He recognizes the terror, the suffering, the acceptance. He sees his wife. Different features, identical uniform, identical circumstances, identical probability diminishing. He inhales deeply and speaks. Then, I suppose we're both standing our ground. Jack sprints to his vehicle. In the cargo area, Concealed beneath canvas rests an aged supply kit, military specification. He retained it, uncertain why. Well, perhaps for this exact moment. He returns to the wreckage. Sarah's consciousness is fading. Hey, focus on me. What's your name? Sarah. All right, Sarah. I'm Jack. I'm extracting you from here. But you must maintain awareness. Speak to me. Explain why you joined law enforcement. She forces a smile through agony. Wanted to create positive change. Solid reasoning. Jack evaluates the trauma. The injury requires instant compression. The vehicle might ignite any second. Gasoline stench saturates the air. He commits. Time to resurrect that identity. Jack operates with speed. Initially, he severs Sarah's restraint using his tactical blade. The edge shows age but remains keen. Muscle memory dominates. His grip stays steady. Sarah groans as he adjusts her weight. The wound exceeds expectations. Deep penetration, potential internal damage. "Oh, so this will cause pain," he states. "Everything's already painful." Valid observation. From his supply kit, he extracts clotting fabric, emergency wrapping, and surgical instruments. Equipment untouched for years. They settle naturally in his grasp. He packs the injury. Sarah screams. He maintains course, cannot halt. Halting means her death. "Speak to me, Sarah. Who's responsible?" Through clenched jaw, "Was tracking a suspect. Syndicate operative. They forced me off pavement." Jack's muscles tighten. The syndicate, always the syndicate. "How many?" "2 trucks, perhaps 6 operatives. They abandoned me here." "They assume you've already expired." "Let's maintain that assumption." He secures the emergency wrap tightly. Battlefield procedure, functionality over aesthetics. The bleeding decreases. Sarah's respiration stabilizes marginally. But safety remains distant. The fuel smell intensifies now. The vehicle leaks combustible liquid. One ignition source ends them both. "Can you move?" Jack inquires. I'm uncertain." "You'll need to attempt it. On 3. 1, 2, 3. He lifts her. She weighs less than anticipated. Far less. Adrenaline assists. He transports her from the destruction. 20 feet, 30, 50. Behind them, the cruiser's motor creates sparks. "Get down!" Jack throws himself over Sarah as the vehicle detonates. The fireball illuminates the forest. Heat floods over them. Metal fragments whistle overhead. Briefly, everything becomes flame and sound. Then silence. Only the rain. The crackling inferno. Sarah looks upward at Jack, his features lit by burning wreckage. "And you're insane." "I receive that feedback frequently." He examines her injury again, still maintaining integrity. He retrieves his phone, still no reception. They're too deep in wilderness. "We need to reach the roadway. Ambulance won't locate us here." "I cannot walk." "I understand. I'll transport you." Jack lifts her again. Rescue carry. She's dead weight now. Shock advancing. He must move swiftly. The road lies half a mile distant. Uphill. In precipitation. With a dying woman across his shoulders. Jack has endured worse. He begins walking. Every stride brings torment. Not for him. For her. Each motion disturbs the injury. Sarah winces, but stays silent. "Tell me about your daughter," she says weakly. "What?" "Your jacket contains a drawing in the pocket. From Ella." Jack nearly smiles. Naturally, she noticed, even half-conscious. He's still an investigator. She's 10. Intelligent. Too intelligent. Continuously questioning why I won't instruct her in suturing. "Why won't you?" "Because I don't want that skill necessary for her." Sarah grows quiet momentarily. Then, "Your wife, was she law enforcement?" Jack's step falters, just briefly. "How did you determine that?" "The manner you observed me. Like you've witnessed this previously. She was. Died 5 years back. Identical type of arrangement. Syndicate ambush. I'm sorry. Don't apologize, just survive. That's my only request. They reach pavement. Jack lowers Sarah gently. He signals a passing vehicle. The operator assesses the situation and contacts emergency services. 15 minutes later, sirens, strobes, an ambulance, and 3 cruisers. Paramedics rush towards Sarah. They cut her uniform. You reveal the injury, see the battlefield dressing. One of them, a veteran responder named Rodriguez, stares at the stitching. Who performed this? The second paramedic shakes his head. This is military-grade trauma intervention. Whoever did this preserved her life. She'd have bled out in 10 minutes without it. Police officers encircle Jack. Questions cascade. What's your name? Jack Rowan. Did you witness who did this? No, I just discovered her. You a physician? No. Then how the hell did you? I used to be a medic, long time back. The precinct commander arrives. Captain Marcus Stone, 30-year veteran. He observes Sarah being loaded into the ambulance, then Jack, then the exploded cruiser in the distance. You transported her half a mile? More or less. Through a potential crime scene? She was dying. Hunt didn't have time to consider evidence. Captain Stone studies Jack, really examines him, notices the age scars, the composed bearing, the posture of someone who's experienced combat. What's your complete name? Jack Rowan. You military? Jack hesitates, then, was. Not currently. What branch? Does it matter? It does to me. Jack meets his gaze. Special Forces. Combat medic. Honorably discharged 5 years back. Captain Stone nods slowly, like components are connecting. Will require a statement. Tomorrow. Correct. Right now I need to return home to my daughter. Jack turns to depart. Captain Stone calls after him. Mr. Rowan, thank you. You preserved one of ours tonight. Jack pauses, doesn't rotate. Just did what anyone should. He walks to his truck. As he opens the door, he notices something on his wrist. The bracelet is missing. Must have detached during the rescue. He looks back at the ambulance. Sarah is being loaded inside. She's conscious, looking at him. Their eyes connect across the space. She raises one hand weakly. Wrapped around her wrist is his dark bracelet. Never leave a fallen. Jack nods once, then drives away into the night. 72 hours later. Sarah Miles regains consciousness in County General Hospital. White walls, beeping equipment, pain medication flowing through her system. Captain Stone occupies a chair beside her bed, his expression serious. How are you feeling? Sarah attempts to sit upright. Winces. Like I encountered a truck. What happened to the case? Forget the case. Tell me about the man who saved you. Sarah closes her eyes, remembering. Tall, maybe 6'2". Dark hair with some silver. 40s. Calm under pressure. Really calm, like he'd performed it 1,000 times. What did he say to you? That I wasn't dying tonight. That he'd seen worse. She pauses. Captain, whoever he was, he knew precisely what he was doing. Military trauma intervention, perfect field stitching. He carried me half a mile through the rain. Captain Stone retrieves a tablet, shows her a photograph. Is this him? Sarah stares at the screen. Jack Rowan, driver's license photo. Yes, that's him. Who is he? That's what we're attempting to determine. The investigation moves swiftly. Detective Maria Reeves traces the vehicle registration, finds Jack's address. Small residence, peaceful neighborhood, nothing suspicious. She runs his background. What she discovers makes her call Captain Stone immediately. "Captain? You need to see this." They assemble in the conference room. Jack's military record displays on the screen. Most of it is redacted. Dark bars everywhere. Classified operations. But some details remain. Jack Rowan, Special Forces combat medic. Deployed 7 times to classified locations. Silver Star recipient. Expert in tactical medicine and emergency trauma intervention. Honorably discharged 5 years ago after his wife was killed. Captain Stone reads the name of Jack's deceased wife. Sarah Rowan, patrol officer. Killed during a narcotics interdiction that went wrong. Detective Reeves pulls the case file. The suspects were never apprehended. But intelligence suggested syndicate involvement. The same syndicate operating in their county right now. Jesus, Captain Stone whispers. He's been hunting them. Or avoiding them, Reeves counters. He left the service, became a civilian. If he wanted revenge, he would have taken it by now. Maybe he's waiting for the right moment. 2 detectives drive to Jack's house, morning, 8 a.m. Jack is in the kitchen making pancakes. Ella sits at the table doing homework, normal, peaceful. The doorbell rings. Jack knows who it is before he opens the door. He saw the unmarked vehicle pull up. "Mr. Rowan? That's me." "I'm Detective Reeves. This is Detective Park. We'd like to ask you some questions about the incident 3 nights ago." "I already gave a statement." "We have some follow-up questions. May we come in?" Jack glances back at Ella. She's watching, curious. "Give me a minute." He walks back to the kitchen, kneels beside Ella. "Honey, I need to talk to these people. Can you go to your room and finish your homework?" "Am I in trouble?" "No, I am. A little. But it's okay." Ella looks worried. Jack kisses her forehead. "Everything's fine, I promise." She leaves. Jack lets the detectives inside. They sit in the living room. Small space, modest furniture. But Detective Reeves notices something on the wall. A shadow box. Inside, medals and ribbons. Purple heart, bronze star, and in the center, a silver star. She points. That's quite a collection. Jack doesn't look. Old life. Detective Park opens his notebook. "Mr. Rowan, we've reviewed your military record. You were Special Forces, combat medic, expert in trauma intervention." That's not a question. "Why didn't you mention that when we asked how you saved Officer Miles?" "You asked if I was a doctor. I said no." "That you asked if I was a medic. I said I used to be, answered honestly." "You were being evasive." Jack meets his eyes. "I was being private. There's a difference." Captain Stone enters the house. The detectives didn't expect him. He must have been waiting outside. "Mr. Rowan, we need to talk." "About what?" "Why a decorated Special Forces medic is driving a delivery truck in the middle of nowhere." Jack stands. "Is that illegal?" "No. But it's interesting. Especially when that same medic saves a police officer investigating the same syndicate that killed his wife 5 years ago." The room goes silent. Jack's expression doesn't change, but his hands tighten slightly. "I don't know what you're implying." Captain Stone steps closer. "I'm not implying anything. I'm stating facts. Your wife Sarah was killed by syndicate members during a traffic stop. The case went cold. You left the military immediately after, moved here, stayed quiet. And now you save an officer investigating that same organization. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences." Jack's voice drops. "What do you want from me?" Captain Stone pulls out a chair, sits down. "Officer Miles is alive because of you, but she's still in danger. The syndicate knows she survived. They'll come for her again. Then protect her. That's your job. We're trying, but we're outgunned. These people have military-grade weapons, tactical training. They know how we operate. We need someone who thinks like they do. Jack shakes his head. No. We need a tactical consultant, someone who understands combat medicine, ambush tactics, counterinsurgency. I said no. Why? Jack points toward the hallway where Ella disappeared. Because I have a daughter who needs a father, not a corpse. Detective Reeves speaks softly. Mr. Rowan, if we don't stop them, how many more officers die? How many more wives lose their husbands? How many more daughters lose their fathers? Jack looks at her, then at the medals on the wall. He thinks about Sarah Miles, young, brave, bleeding out in the rain. He thinks about his wife. Same uniform, same commitment, same fate. He thinks about Ella. What would she want him to do? The answer comes to him clearly. She'd want him to make sure no other kid loses their parent the way she lost her mother. Jack takes a breath. I'll consult. Nothing more. I don't go into the field. I don't carry a weapon. And I analyze tactics and teach your people how to stay alive. That's it. Captain Stone extends his hand. Deal. They shake. Detective Reeves smiles. When can you start? Tomorrow. But we do this my way. I train your officers in tactical combat medicine. I review your operational plans. And if I say something's too dangerous, you listen. Agreed. Jack walks them to the door. As they leave, Captain Stone turns. One more thing. Officer Miles asked me to give you this. He hands Jack a small box. Inside is the black bracelet, cleaned, polished, and a note in shaky handwriting. Never leave a fallen. Thank you for not leaving me. Sarah M. Jack stares at it for a long moment. Then he puts it back on his wrist, where it belongs. 14 days later, Jack stands in the police training room. 15 officers watch him. Sarah Miles sits in front, still healing but determined. Captain Stone introduces, "This is Jack Rowan, former Special Forces medic. He'll teach you how to survive." Jack steps forward. The first 60 seconds in a crisis determine if you live or die. I'm here to make sure you live. 3 hours of training, tourniquets, wound packing, pressure points. Jack corrects their technique. Professional, patient. After class, Sarah approaches. Thank you for everything. How's recovery? Slow, but steady. She pauses. Captain told me about your wife. Did he? I'm sorry you couldn't have known. Is that why you saved me? Jack thinks. I saved you because it was right. But yes, I saw her. And you? Same uniform, same courage. Sarah's eyes water. We're closing in on the syndicate, raiding their warehouse in 3 days. Captain wants you there, as tactical consultant. Jack hesitates. I don't go into the field. Just observe. Your judgment could save lives. He thinks of the young officers, good people, inexperienced. Fine, but I stay in the command vehicle. Deal. 3 days later, dawn. 20 officers surround a warehouse. Jack sits with Captain Stone in the mobile command center, radio chatter everywhere. Team 1 in position. Team 2 ready. Team 3 holding. Stone looks at Jack. Advice? Jack studies the screen. Rear exit, probably rigged to explode. Keep Team 3 back. That's where they'll run. How do you know? Because it's what I do. The raid begins. Flashbangs, shouting, chaos inside. 6 syndicate members are surrounded, outgunned. Their leader, Vargas, runs for the back door, just as Jack predicted. Team 3 waits. Freeze, police. Vargas pulls out a detonator, smiles. Come closer and we all die. Sarah's voice on radio. Captain, He has explosives. Jack grabs the mic. Sarah, see a wire from the detonator? Yes, red wire. Where does it connect? Pressure switch on the door frame. Jack's training kicks in. Don't let him touch that door. Building will blow. Take the shot. Silence. Then Sarah. Steady. Copy. One shot. Clean. Vargas drops. Detonator falls harmlessly. Target down. Building secure. Officers emerge. All suspects arrested. 0 casualties. Stone exhales. Too close. Jack nods. Always is. Later at the debriefing, everyone's exhausted but alive. Captain Stone addresses the room. We took down a major syndicate operation tonight. No officers killed or injured. That's because of preparation, training, and one man who refused to let us go in blind. He looks at Jack. Jack Rowan reminded us why we wear this badge. To protect, to serve, to never leave a fallen. Applause fills the room. Officers who doubted him now stand and salute. Respect earned. Sarah approaches with something in her hands. Jack's Silver Star medal. This belongs at the station, so everyone remembers what real courage looks like. Jack tries to refuse. I didn't do this for recognition. Sarah smiles. I know, that's exactly why you deserve it. She pins it to the wall of honor, right next to fallen officers. Jack stares at it, his old life and new purpose, finally connected. Captain Stone shakes his hand. You saved my officer. Then you saved my team. We owe you everything. Jack looks around the room. Young faces, grateful faces, alive faces. But you don't owe me anything. Just promise me one thing. What's that? Go home safe to your families, every single night. Stone nods. That's a promise. As Jack leaves the station, officers line up, a corridor of respect. Each one nods as he passes. Sarah walks him out. You changed everything here. You know that, right? Jack looks back at the station. Lights on, officers inside. Safe. No, I just reminded them what they already knew. He gets in his truck and drives home. To Ella, to peace, to purpose. The hero who never wanted to be one. 12 months later, Jack stands in front of a small classroom. 20 civilians sit before him. Nurses, teachers, truck drivers, regular people who want to learn emergency medical care. The sign above the door reads, Rowan First Response Training, home because everyone should know how to save a life. Ella sits in the back row, 13 now, watching her father teach. Pride in her eyes. Jack demonstrates CPR on a dummy. Most people freeze in emergencies. That's normal. But if you know what to do, you can override that fear. Muscle memory takes over. A student raises her hand. What if we make a mistake? Jack smiles. Then you make a mistake. But doing something is always better than doing nothing. I've made plenty of mistakes. People still lived. After class, Sarah Miles enters. She's not in uniform. Civilian clothes. She graduated to detective last month. Hey, stranger. Jack looks up. Detective Miles, congratulations on the promotion. Thanks. Couldn't have done it without you. They walk outside. The sun is setting. Golden light across the parking lot. Sarah hands him a folder. Thought you'd want to see this. We closed your wife's case. DNA evidence finally came through. 3 arrests, all connected to the syndicate. Jack opens the folder, sees the mugshots, the men who killed Sarah. He feels nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just closure. Thank you. It doesn't bring her back. No, but it means she didn't die for nothing. They stand in comfortable silence. Then Sarah asks, You ever think about coming back full-time, consulting with the department? Jack shakes his head. This is where I belong. Teaching civilians, giving them skills they hopefully never need. It's quieter, simpler. Less dangerous? That too. Ella walks out, sees Sarah, waves. Hi, Sarah. Hey, kiddo. Your dad teaching you all his secrets? Some. He won't teach me the really cool stuff until I'm older. Jack ruffles her hair, because the really cool stuff is also the really scary stuff. They watch Ella get in the truck. Sarah turns to Jack. You know what I realized? You never stop being a soldier. You just change your mission. Jack considers this. Maybe, or maybe I finally figured out what I was fighting for all along. What's that? Not glory, not revenge. Just making sure good people get to go home to their families. Sarah nods. Understands. She hugs him briefly. The world needs more people like you. The world needs more people like everyone. We all have something to give. She leaves. Jack walks to his truck. Ella is playing music, singing off key. He climbs in, starts the engine. On the dashboard, his black bracelet hangs from the mirror, and the words visible, never leave a fallen. He doesn't wear it anymore. Doesn't need to. Because he's not leaving anyone behind, not anymore. Not ever. He drives home as the sun sets, his daughter beside him. His purpose clear, a former soldier, a single father, a teacher, a man who stopped at an accident and changed everything. Subscribe if you believe courage doesn't retire.